The following program is paid for by Beyond the Pink Ribbon. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views of Urban One and its management.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond the Pink Ribbon with your host, Nadia E. Miller. In a world where pink often symbolizes breast cancer awareness, this show stands as a beacon of hope and empowerment. With Nadia at the helm, we embark on a journey of resilience, courage, and unwavering determination.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Praise Indy AM 1310 The Light. My name is Nadia E. Miller, and I am your host for Beyond the Pink Ribbon, which airs every Wednesday from 6 to 6:30 p.m. We're here to light up your midweek. Look, can you believe it? It's Wednesday. We made it. We made it to Wednesday. But hey, before we dive in, let's connect. Follow us at Nadia E. Miller on Facebook and on Instagram. Click like or share so we can make sure you're locked in each week to see and hear from amazing guests and also the things that we have going on. You want to keep up. Huge shout out to our sponsor, Pink Forever, ending disparities that made tonight's show possible. Pink Forever's mission is to eliminate breast cancer disparities for Black women through advocacy, education, research, and empowerment. We'll talk more about them later. So I'm excited to be back in the studio with you all live again this week. It certainly has been a very busy July, and here we are on July 31st, the last Wednesday in July, and I have something special for you tonight. So I have my special guest with me tonight is Mrs. Regina Warren. Those of you that do not know her, you will absolutely want to get to know her. And so it is my pleasure to share this platform with her this evening. I'd like to introduce you all to Mrs. Regina Warren. Welcome, Regina.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
I am excited that you are here with me tonight. While we have a lot of things moving and cooking in the community, I thought that we would have a conversation with a financial guru, but there's so much more. And so what better person to talk about this with than with you. And so I really do appreciate you being here. Yeah. So we are going to get right on into it. Okay. So we're going to jump right on in this. Yes. So what does financial fortitude mean, and why is it crucial in today's economic climate?
Mm-hmm. Very good question. So first, let's start off with fortitude, right? It's the security, it's the surrounding freedom that we have and stability in our income, right? So what comes in, our assets, liabilities, but how do we protect that, right? So many times we know how to make money. I mean, we get up, we go to work, we do our thing. The thing is we are we are the highest spending community ever.
Absolutely.
What we need to do is we need to start saving some of that money so we can actually make it grow, optimize what we have, and protect ourselves from other things that come around the corner. Recession, interest rates, okay, you have pandemics. Like, we have to be able to protect ourselves, which is why fortitude is so important.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. One thing that I find in the community just as a whole is that while it sounds so simple, it's absolutely not. No. It's not. Mm-hmm. And depending upon where folks are, what season they are in their life, can speak to how they view or feel about their financial health. Mm-hmm. And so can you share some quick tips about effective budgeting and saving strategies that can help just your everyday person where they could possibly start?
First of all, start with a budget. Right? Figure out what you have coming in and what you have going out. What is your cash flow? You should treat yourself and your family as a business, right? Mm-hmm. What is coming in? What's going out? What's my cash flow, right? Look at your bank statements. Make sure they are reconciled every month, right? So just start with the simple, basic things of just budgeting. Okay, what do we have going on? Not only that, but once we have budget laid out, then start crossing out stuff you don't need. Like, man, you don't need 10 different streaming services that show you the same movie or the same sitcom. Okay, so let's start crossing those out to save you some money, right? And start putting that money into something else. Okay, so it can grow because we want to grow. Y'all know I'm in the military, so I look at money as like little soldiers because I'm going to put these soldiers on the battlefield so we can fight this war of finances. So that's how you should look at your soldiers and your money. Budget. And then budget to the zero. So if you have savings, that's cool. Put that on your budget. If you have, I go to the store and I go to the restaurant, you should be putting everything on your budget sheet. Do not put miscellaneous. No, you should know where your money is going. Therefore, you can control it a little bit better. So first, budget. Second, live below your means.
Say that again.
Live below your means. You have got to do that. If you don't, you'll feel stressed out. You'll feel really stretched very, very thin. So you have to start living below your means. What does that look like? So if I make $100,000 this year, then 60% of that should be going to my living expenses. 20% of that should be going to savings. And then 20% honestly should be going to me. Right? Okay. So 10% to my savings account and 10% to Regina equals up a good 20% to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good.
So make sure you live below your means. So you have budgeting. And then you have a formula called 60-20-20, which is 60% of your living expenses is living below your means.
Listen, I've took some, look, you all, you listeners, you can't see me, but I'm taking some notes over here because this is some, I'm telling you, you better catch it. You got to get it because this is some, and not only is it just good stuff. Remember, we don't believe in sound bites here at Beyond the Pink Ribbon. This stuff really works. And so we're trying to help someone. So how should beginners approach investing is a really big thing. So that yields amazing results if you know how. So how should, if at the easiest level possible, if I'm a beginner, how would I approach investing and what factors should I consider when balancing like that risk and reward?
Oh, good question. So first you have to know your risk tolerance. So what I do is I take my clients through a risk tolerance. What are you comfortable with, right? So it's kind of hard to see money go into something that may go up, down, and indifferent. So you have to know what you're comfortable with. So know your risk tolerance. Some people check out at like a 76, which may be about balanced, right? So I'm okay with volatility, but I still want to have more of it secure for me, which comes out to usually about a 60% equity and 40% balance or fixed income. So what that means is when you talk to your financial advisor, you make sure that they always take you through a risk tolerance because each person is different. What are you comfortable with? And then there's other factors like age. So if you're closer to retirement age, you probably don't want to be that aggressive, right? So because there may be good years, there may be bad years, there may be good months, there may be really, really good months too. But you have to be able to ride that wave. And if retirement is around the corner, I don't know if you want to be as risky, right? Like just to keep it all the way 100 with you. So that's something to think about, okay? The other thing I want you to think about too is what is the asset allocation? When you invest into something, you should be knowing what you were invested in. Okay, is it a mutual fund? Is it an ETF? Like, what is it that's in this account? And your advisor should really explain that to you and why, right? So don't just tell me it's diversified, but why? What is the liquidity? What is the volatility, right? Is it international? Is it developed? Is it emerging? Like, what are the assets in this fund that I'm invested in? And then don't forget that the market isn't the only way to invest. Yeah, you can do real estate. You can do land. You can do all kinds of different things, right? But don't forget the non-market too. So like your risk management, your
That's
insurances, like all of those things. Because if you think about it, that's an investment into yourself. So if I invest into like car insurance, that means that if I, God forbid, had a car accident today, I don't have to pay for the remake of my car or their car because I paid into insurance. So my insurance should be just enough to make sure both cars are fixed. And that's my investment. Same thing with life insurance. Same thing with income protection. Protect your income. So if you were injured and you cannot work today, you should be having some kind of compensation coming in every month to help you get by while you get healed, right? And you need to get all of these products, unfortunately, when you're healthy. So the younger you are, get it done. Get it done. And I don't care how old you are, you still can get these products. Just know that it's discounted by age and health. Okay?
Listen, I mean, we can just keep going here. I see our folks are online. Yes, I promise I will make sure that we have these tips and these the information that Regina is talking about for you. But one of the things that I absolutely hear you saying is to prepare. Preparing your finances as we do, anything else. And This is a great segue into what you were talking about, which is about how does someone maintain an emergency fund or like an unexpected when unexpected financial challenges come up.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. So one, I love how you said prepare. I think that's very important. And preparing also means debt management, right? Like it's a thing. And so to fight against debt management and to not feel as if you are always paying debt, you have got to start putting away money into an emergency fund. Like it is a thing. So I don't care how much debt you have, find a way and work out with an advisor how to be strategic about it, but figure out a way on how to put money into an emergency fund. You paying off debt, but at some point we have to put something into an emergency fund, because what happens is you're paying all this debt off, something big happens, and guess what? You're picking up a credit card again to pay it off because you didn't have anything in an emergency fund.
Yeah.
How much should you put into an emergency fund? Honestly, it should be 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. So if it costs about $4,000 for you to live that month, that's rent, car, all the things for living expenses, not the wants. We're talking about the needs. So if it costs you about $3,000 to live or $4,000 to live that month, then you need to $4,000 times 3 to 6 months, right? And that's how much your emergency fund should have. Now, if you only have $4,000 in there and it's living expenses for $4,000, you should still give yourself a round of applause, because now we're talking about the psychology of money.
Yeah.
So don't get on yourself. It's a learning curve, and it's something that you build over time.
And I'm glad you said that, because I think folks, when we talk about financial health or when you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I've learned that through trial and error. Everyone knows, all the listeners know, like, listen, you don't own businesses if you have not failed forward at some level. And so, I just encouraging the listeners to start somewhere.
Somewhere. I don't care if it's $50 a month. I don't care if it's $25 a month. All right. And then also what I do too is debt management. Let's figure out a plan on how we can tackle those debts, right? And then how we can separate to start saving money. And even if it's $4, $25, that's okay. Eventually we'll get to $100, $500 a month, and you're going to be dancing. We're both going to be celebrating at that point, because then we made that thing work.
Because it feels good, too.
It
feels good to see progress.
It does.
You know?
And that's what I was talking about earlier about psychology of money. Because money is a form of power. And when you feel stretched thin in your finances, it's going to show. You're going to tell the kids, get in the room, I don't feel like talking today, because you're stressed, right? Yeah. But what if you ain't got no kids? You ain't going to go outside because you're trying to figure out how I'm going to pay these bills and this light bill. So it is a psychology to money. So when you take care of your finances, you feel ownership of your own power. And I want to help you in that space. So, or if it's somebody else, I don't care, but just let's make it work.
So
right?
Speaking of that, she just walked right on into this. Would you please give the listeners how to contact you? And then, what I may have a little bit of an oversight. Yeah, so she's a financial guru, like in real life. Like, this is what she does. Licensed. And so I want you to talk about your credentials a bit, and then also how folks can get a hold of you to take advantage of this service, because it's real and it's life-changing.
It is. It really, really is. Okay, so I'll start with the how to contact me thing. So definitely reach out. Do not be afraid. I can answer just about any question. If I can't answer it, Regina will find someone that will. Okay. So that being said, it's 317-590-6029. That's 317-590-6029. And listen, text me as much as you want to, but if you call me and I don't know you, we are not friends. So I love you anyway.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Text for sure.
Okay, and talk about, so when I say, just at a very lay level, you're a financial guru. Talk a little bit about your experience level and your licensure and certifications and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so honestly, I started my financial journey in the military. I was a finance soldier for 9 years. I loved what I did with the finance soldiers. Really took care of their finances when it comes to benefits, what they're entitled to, helping them understand their psychology of money and being able to process that, right? So there's a difference between a coach and an actual a financial advisor that can actually implement those things. There's a difference. Fortunately, you get both in me, because I'm going to coach you through it, and then we're going to get it done. We're going to execute. So 9 years finance soldier, and then I continued 11 more years for the government as a civilian. And in that capacity, I was a federal financial analyst, and we analyzed money. We did sheets, spreadsheets, reports, all kinds of stuff, right? And the idea there that I took away was operations and operations running money, right? You had to understand how to report that, how to present that, and that's what I did in that capacity. I had the privilege to actually work with wounded warriors too in that situation. So I felt really, really good about what we were doing and the impact that we were making. But we also had billion-dollar accounts. And in that capacity, I felt kind of overly privileged. And I'm going to tell you why. Because here we are working in a macro area with billion-dollar accounts. I felt, well, why can't I do this on a micro level and help the individual person, i.e. my community, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we come into the financial advisor space. And here I'm able to bring in all of those benefits and operations and all the things. But with that said, what I do now in this capacity is I do all things business planning, financial planning, personal planning. I do family planning, legacy planning, estate planning. I do debt management, spend plans, and of course risk management and investments. And so my license is in order to do investments for you. So let's connect. Let's talk through some things, whatever you want to talk about, and let's get it done and let's start working it. Even it's a step-by-step process.
Okay, tell everybody one more time because we're going to switch gears a little bit about
Okay.
your how to contact you.
Yes, again, you can definitely text me at 317-590-6029, or you go to my website. On there, you'll see all kinds of things that I do, and that's reginawarren.nm.com. reginawarren.nm.com.
Okay, now listen, you guys, you heard it here on Beyond the Pink Ribbon. So listen, this is a great segue. Let's thrive together by thanking our sponsor again, Pink Forever. Ending disparities. So, Pink Forever Ending Disparities. First of all, thank you for your partnership that continues to make this show possible. If you are in need of mammography services, emergency assistance fund, or if you are in active treatment for breast cancer and looking for support, please call our offices, 317-682-4944. Be more than happy to speak with one of our staff or our lovely executive director, Lisa Hayes. Now, on September 6th and 7th, we have the Stay Alert, Stay Alive Breast Health Summit. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this. We are kicking this thing off on Friday night with our inaugural Pink and Black Ball. There'll be a silent auction. And guess what? We are honoring our survivorship as a lifestyle partners. And it is going to be a party, and we'd love to see you there. Registration is open. Please check out our Facebook page. And then also on our website, then that is www.pink-4-ever.org. Thank you, Pink Forever, for your support. And so we're coming to a close here in a little while, but I got a lot of different things for you. But I want to get into this from a community aspect with you. So there is a lot to Mrs. Regina Warren, and I wanted her to share her involvement in the community in whatever way you want to. I want you to share your involvement in the community, and also, especially considering your role building the 360 Model Boot Camp and being an instructor for the Rising Queens program.
Yes. I think so I spoke a little bit earlier about going from the macro level to the micro level, right? Making sure I touch the individual. As a soldier and now an officer, a major in the Army, I've been in for 23 years.
Wow.
And so that really weighs heavy on you to see that a life is very important. One life, two lives, it doesn't matter. Very, very important. So when I came back home, I made a commitment to myself that I would be a living example, either through God's grace, through my ability, through my friends and community that I have. I wanted to share that with other young girls. And so that started with the 360 Model Boot Camp. I am still actually a signed model with Helen Wells. I love what I do there. So billboards and commercials and all kinds of things. But I felt as if wanted to share that with other young girls. I wanted to help them feel pretty. I wanted them to feel the beauty that they had on the inside. So I also created a 501c3 based off of that as well, and confidence building. And that led me to great places like the Rising Queens. And so with the Rising Queens, I had the ability to meet some amazing young girls. And these young girls, I mean, you would think they are already going to high school somewhere. They are in elementary and middle school, and they are like, listen, we are going to make a difference. And that's what we focus on in Rising Queens, self-efficacy, right? Making sure they understand that they can make it, they can win. And then building confidence in them as well, I think is very important. And so a lot of people say, well, what is your reason why? Why do you do what you do? And I'm going to be honest with you. I've heard other people say to close the wealth gap, to build confidence in other young people, which all is amazing. Mm-hmm. But I would love to, and honestly, this is just a selfish thing. I want to be the example for you can make it.
I love it.
I want you to make it. That's it. That's all. And I want to be that example. And I want to stand across from other amazing young people and like yourself. Yes, because you are amazing too, ma'am.
Thank you.
And you shining your light allows me to shine my light, and we can help shine other people's little light too. You know?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Do amazing work. And those of you that are looking for programs for the youth, this is another area that I would call you an area expert in. Just the work that you do it is not only appreciated by me, but it's appreciated by those young people. And we're looking forward to the fall at the Genius School and seeing what happens there with these young women. Now, this is the favorite part of my show, the power play. So so our power play is, and I'm going to let you do this, and it's something very simple. Mm-hmm. So the power play is where we challenge the listeners to do something for themselves. They must advocate for themselves from Wednesday to Wednesday, and then throughout the week they tell us how they did something just for them. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you just a couple seconds to think about that, but how would you like our listeners for tonight, for the things that you've been talking about from one end to the other, well, how shall they advocate for themselves and have some power this week?
Ooh. Yes, take power in your finances, for sure. And then make sure that you focus on loving yourself. It could be found in finances. It could be found in washing your face tonight and tomorrow. I don't care. But it is a thing I want you to do. And I want you to tell us how you actually did it, honestly. If you could tell us how you start to love yourself a little bit better, I think that will also help us and help others.
I love it. You have heard it right here on Beyond the Pink Ribbon. Now, this is your power play for the week. Do not forget to take care of yourself and advocate for yourself this week. Mrs. Regina Warren, I want to say thank you for joining me. It has been my pleasure to talk with you. Now, I want a commitment from you.
Yes.
You have to promise to do a takeover where it's all things finances.
Oh, I would love
where
to.
you're gonna take over the show. So I want you to think about that. Or you can go on and commit live like I generally do with all the rest of the guests. I'll go on and get you to commit. But I would love for you to do that and continue to share this with the listeners. One more time, what is your telephone number so folks can contact you?
Yes. Oh, and make sure y'all come to the Pretty and Paid. It's a new event coming out. Actually, it's a brunch that is annual brunch with Girl Gang Indie.
Okay, what's the date?
So it's September 22nd.
Okay.
Check it out, Pretty and Paid brunch. So contact me, 317-590-6029. Text me. Or you can go to the website, reginawarren.nm.com.
Anything else that you have coming up where you will be at that we need to see you at?
I know, right? So we will be at the fairgrounds.
Okay, there you go.
We will be at the fairgrounds August 11th for Indiana Fashion Week, and then August 16th for Melly. Hey, so check it out. You're going to see some brand new designers on the scene doing amazing things all over the region, right? So it's not just local.
Well, I am super excited. I'll be in some of these places. So you all come check us out. Come check Regina out. Come check out Melly. There's so many things going on in the community. So stay connected to the community. Stay connected to Beyond the Pink Ribbon. I want to thank you again, Regina, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
I want to thank Pink Forever, our sponsor, for always supporting my initiatives, and the thing Beyond the Pink Ribbon could not be what it is without you today. So remember, thank you for joining us. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Nadia E. Miller. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor, visit our website at NadiaEMillerLLC.com. I want to thank you again for your sponsorship, and I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thank you for joining us for Beyond the Pink Ribbon with your host, Nadia E. Miller. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Nadia E. Miller. Tune in every Wednesday for your drive home at 6 p.m. on Praise AM 1310 and 95.1 FM.
The preceding program was paid for by Beyond the Pink Ribbon.